Welcome back. Welcome back to week 14 of From the Ground Up Challenge. My goal is to reseed the infrastructure of food production across the UK and one day the world to try and improve food stability, increase sustainability, and overall just reduce the damage humans have on the earth whilst producing good quality sustainable food. We are in week 14 and we are running 3 different projects in parallel. Number one is I'm running a small farm here in Essex. We have got a small herd of Australian lowline cattle and a flock of 350 chickens and just a couple of hundred chicks at the moment, whose purpose between them all is to try and prove that small farming still works and can be profitable. Struggling to actually prove that at the moment, but the vibe's still there. Number two is social media. And what we're doing is things like this and videos on TikTok to try and build a depth of following and interest in what we're doing and find like-minded people who are interested in changing how we produce food for the better. And finally, number three, I'm building a platform to be able to facilitate all of this and to hopefully drive change across the industry. What I'll do in this video is I'll go through what we've been up to in the week, and tick off each of those 3 projects, and I'll show how we're going to go on. So first up, we are on the farm. We'll work backwards actually. As of this afternoon, we have welcomed our first calf onto the platform. Onto the platform. God, I'm such a corporate. We have welcomed our first calf, who is going to be called Pascal. Pascali. Anyway, it's Easter Sunday. It's a little bullock, and he's been born very healthy this afternoon, which is very exciting indeed. First of all of our cows to calf comes from number 40, otherwise known as Horse, which is just a beautifully named cow, if you ask me. I'm going to do a bit more about the cows this season and follow a bit more as they grow, as they got them, because I think people are might be a bit interested. So I think I might do a bit of a TikTok series alongside Come Collect Eggs with me on the cows as they calf over the next few months. We've got 11 to calf, 6 to calf first, and then 5 heifers who we'll see when they come into calf. But even bigger news than that. 9th of April, we are out of lockdown. So today is the 5th of April, I think. And on Thursday, 9th of April, lockdown is being lifted across the United Kingdom, which is incredibly exciting. It means the chickens can finally go back outside. We're still having problems across both houses, but predominantly in our second laying house, L2, with hens attacking each other and eating each other's feathers. So they're going to come out looking pretty moth-eaten. It's one of the reasons I haven't really done much videos of it over the last few months, because I'm just not very proud of the state they're in. And also just it's quite depressing when they kill each other in there. I've adjusted a fair few things, but I've lost a couple of hens over the last couple of weeks, which is frustrating. But they are, like I say, they're going to come out looking a bit moth-eaten. But I'm hoping by next season we will have ironed out the bumps which have caused them to be feather pecking. And what feather pecking leads to is what causes the blood specks, which is then what causes them to cannibalise one another. Sweet vibes. Storm Dave hit us this week. Thankfully, we haven't caused any more damage, but did mean I had to take down the tarpaulin that was on top of L2. Pulled that down, and I just pulled that up this afternoon because they're pecking again. So I won't take it off until at least Thursday when they go out free ranging, if not after. I just need to see them improve and reduce their feather pecking. We've started selling hatching eggs again. I sent a few of those around the country, although the first box we've sent has been lost by the Royal Mail, which is incredibly frustrating. 18 eggs on their way to Scotland have now been delayed over a week, which is going to mean they're somewhat useless when they arrive. And then I've also started selling chickens as well. Last couple of weeks I've sold half a dozen birds. First lot I think I sold at 15 if not 20 quid, and then the ones I sold this week have sold for £25 each, which I think is fair. I've bought hens anywhere from £15 up to 65 quid each from some of the more backyard dealers. They're quite hard to get hold of these days, I find, especially in lockdown, especially with restrictions, but also with people not wanting to vaccinate and stuff. We vaccinate for a few different things, but predominantly we vaccinate on day olds, so we inject them for Marek's. We then vaccinate for things like infectious bronchitis. The main focus at the moment is grazing, and there just isn't any still, as I mentioned last week. We've got all the cows coming back for the TB test on Tuesday, which I'm not too worried about. We're in a low area for TB, and there's nothing to worry about. If we have TB, then we've got TB. There's nothing panicking about. I'm more panic about where I'm going to put the cows once they've finished their test next week. So how TB test works is the first day they inject them. So they're coming on Tuesday to inject, and then 5 days later they come to run the results and then measure the reaction zone. And if it's over a certain size, and the animal is reactive, and therefore the animal needs to be exterminated, and the whole flock continues to be tested until you're all clear. So it's not a vibe, but I'm not too worried. Like I say, it's more than after those 5 days what we do with all these cows. I've obviously now with calving, so we'll keep those cows close to home just because we like to be able to keep them, to be able to look after them and keep an eye on them. We were going to go down to the woodland after that, but it's still too wet down there. There's a little bit of grass over in the field they ended up in last season, so I think I might start there. We're just going to have to overgraze until we get them all seeded and really taken. There is grass growing, and the grass that we grew at the end of last season is really thick. It's just not enough of it. So it's proving that the seeding definitely helps, proving that the chickens' manure really helps. So it's just all got to come together over the next couple of years to really we just need sort of 10, 20 acres of really good grazing, and we can easily manage a herd of 30, 40 cows on that because of the size of the cows and because of how rotational grazing will allow us to do it. But we need better grazing than we've got. We'll get there. It's just making sure we take the steps in the right order. Moving on to social media. Now, for the last time, I'm saying I'm going to start next week. I am determined to start next week, mainly because we've obviously got a countdown to Thursday, which is when we all let them out. I'm also thinking about whether I should start doing just morning lives and just 10, 15 minutes each morning, put on a live, let all the chickens out, let them all wander out. And if I do that systematically at the same time every day, I think people might enjoy it. So exploring the options there of just letting the chickens out each morning. I'll do that for a couple of weeks, see what the interest is, and if it's worthwhile doing it, I'll continue doing it. And when I say worthwhile, we've got people's interest. It sparks people's interest and people enjoy it. I think we'll probably do it about 7 o'clock, which means it can double up as some people's alarm clocks as well. We'll see. Might not be interested people, but I would enjoy it if I couldn't see any chickens. But I've learned that I'm not necessarily normal. But yeah, so this is the week we're going to start. I still feel bad. I've basically promised people inadvertently, and it was well intentioned because I did plan time and time again to come back, but people in my DMs and TikTok have said, I'll be back next week, and I wasn't. So I do feel really bad for them, but at the same time I had to protect what I'm doing, and it has meant that I've made really good progress on number 3, which is our platform. So the platform is called Yosis if you're new here, and the point of the platform is it's effectively Shopify if Shopify was all joined back together, and also kind of custom designed for farmers or food producers in any way. And the purpose being that we want to decentralize production but centralize supply, and what that means is farmers can produce wherever in whatever quantities they want, but to a consumer, whether that's a restaurant, an end customer, or a processor, all that food can be accessed through one gateway, which will be the platform in time. But to begin with, it will just allow people to spin up shops and sell directly to consumer, or to build marketplaces and allow people to create merchants on their marketplace. It will be completely white label. You won't really see Yosis in many places at all. Only some of the merchants will. And indeed, our first customer, which is Weberg Farm over in Finland, we have Stephen and I, who is a farmer over there, have started working on the platform as of the 4th. We have launched and he has started to play with it, which is exciting for me, daunting I must say. It's the first time I've had someone else access the platform. I also, over the weekend, demoed it to my family, which was really exciting. They've had me squirreled away in my bedroom for months on end at this point. When I've not been out with the animals, I'm up working in here or in bed actually most recently because I've done my back in. And so it was good to finally share that. Still got a lot of work, predominantly so I've done a lot of changes over the last couple of weeks just to accommodate all the things that WeBerg want for their launch. But I'm relatively confident. So with them going to go to friends and family on the 10th. So we've got a few days before that, and then we're going to go to a launch on the end of April, which is the 28th. I'm really excited, really confident at this point. It is one of those things that I just thought for a while, can I actually build a platform? Like, is this actually something you can do? Turns out yes, and I have built it, and I'm more and more confident with it every day. I just know once I've got live customers and like we actually see live money going through accounts and stuff, that is when I will finally be able to rest for a moment before jumping into the next phase. But no, I'm really excited, really confident. For anyone who's not familiar, I have coded before. I did computer science at university, but I also am leaning on agents a lot, using Copilot, but predominantly through Copilot, Claude, and Claude directly. So I use a lot of LLMs, or AI as some people call it, which works really well. And this is the first time in history that one person can actively make a platform and be able to manage it and launch it on their own, I think, to the scale that I hope to do. So it's really exciting that is the case, but also one person can now launch a platform. And so it is going to be a saturated market. This is why this is so critical, and building a following and building like a relationship with people, because I'm not here to make money off the platform. The platform itself, its goal is to centralize this data so that we can really gain economies of scale through small farming. If we've got six, even if it's 2-3 competitors in this space, it's going to really dilute that effect. So I've got to get it going. I've got to try and get as far as wide as possible. And I don't want to be competing with people. I want to keep this cost-free as possible, although even just building the workers, the API, the DB, and the UI, it's already run into sort of almost about £50 a month, I think. So it's going to be quite interesting how that scales. But that's only really a couple of platforms, and then theoretically the cost doesn't then scale exponentially with more producers and more. Obviously, with the more data that goes through the platform, the cost does increase, but hopefully that means more transactions. I'm not set on how I'm going to price it yet. I think I'll probably do a couple of percentage per transaction and then a platform fee, which then tiers and based off, allow it to be modular, because I offer things like receipt processing for VAT and be able to automatically process your VAT and take that all the way through to like cost analysis, because it will then take an itemized receipt and be able to break that down. Obviously, that doesn't need to be on a standard platform, because that will cost more money on its own anyway. But I can also charge for that kind of stuff. Same with finance processing, same for stock management, herd management for myself and the WeBerg farm. We're going to need to process number of eggs, counts, etc., etc. So like the nitty gritty, the difficult stuff is where we're really going to set ourselves apart. I want to solve all those problems. It's getting easier for everybody to solve those problems. So I want to solve them in one place, so that everyone solves them in one place, so we can get all the data, so we can aggregate it together, so we can gain the economies of scale, so that we can move away from a subsidized mass production of farming where supermarkets lead the price. I will do a demo over the next couple of weeks. Once Stephen and I have got comfortable, once we get to friends and family, I'm going to do a demo here. So that should be next week, possibly next week, maybe the week after. We'll see how we get on, but really excited to demo to it. It's quite some of it is more conceptual than just demoing, because obviously it's all white label, so people can build whatever they want. But Stephen has built a phenomenal website for WeBerg, and I will chat to him and make sure that I can share it with you. But I would love to share it with you over the next couple of weeks. What he's done out there is phenomenal. It's scary about how good Claude is, but really exciting what that now means for farmers to be able to build these websites. Actually, what's really interesting is over the next months, maybe years, probably months, we're going to move away from SEO, search engine optimization, which is, people Googling stuff. How do you get to the top of the Google list? Now it's going to be, hey, Claude, hey, ChatGPT, find food in my local area. And we need to be able to get to those LLMs and say, hey, LLM, agent, come buy from us. So it's going to be, how do you optimize for that? Daunting, exciting. I'm pumped. I've got a lot of energy at the moment. Which is really good. I was away last weekend and it was a really good reset. launching this weekend, soft launch this weekend with Stephen and the family has also given me a lot more energy as well. We've got a lot of work to do this week moving cows around, which is always a bit difficult because I really want to just be coding, but at the same time I really want to sort these cows out. So who knows? I'm going to do deliveries on Tuesday and sort cows. Future me problem. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. Thank you for following along. I appreciate each and every one of you. We will get this done, and I'll see you on the next one.